Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to NVP. It is Thursday, August 14th. I have been off for a few days. I've had a lot to take care of in the real world, and I am playing catch up on everything that is going on. So let's get into it right away with Spider-Man. Brand new day has been filming in Glasgow and will be until the 26th. Now, they're saying 11 days extra beyond the original schedule, which is interesting, but it's pretty cool. I will take it. I will take it. What really got my attention is this right here.
It's also the first time we've ever had fans on set for day one, so it's really exciting to share this with them. We've got some familiar faces on set.
Now, this looks incredible. I love this Spider-Man suit. This is the best I think he's looked in live action, start to finish, beginning to end. There's nothing that has come close to the perfection of this suit. So that's right off the bat. But what I find interesting about this is how public this filming is and where it falls into Fantastic Four's box office failure. Because I have watched several videos of Spidey swinging around from cranes on sets that are usually closed for things like this. And I can't help thinking of the hypnotist with the watch going back and forth. And that's just Spider-Man right now. That's what Marvel is dangling out there to try and take some of the attention away from Fantastic Four. The numbers have been pretty interesting for weapons, and I have to admit, I'm sorry, I have not seen it yet. I'm going tonight. I will see this film and I will review it. There has been so much I've had to catch up on that weapons. Weapons has been a high priority for me for some time now, and I've been really looking forward to it. So with everything going on, I haven't been able to really sit, take the time, and be in that place to enjoy it. So finally, I'm there, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm psyched about it, but it is doing fantastic at the box office. The way the numbers look, it's already made its budget back, and should far exceed this. Let's take a closer look. It's sitting at $100 million right now. Domestic box office, 59, 60 million, with the international of 40, which is great. It's performing above what it was anticipated to, and I think this number is just going to rise over this weekend. This weekend is really going to be interesting because we have Superman falling over to streaming or video on demand before it will stream on HBO, and they're going to continue to lose money. But Superman is done at this point. Fantastic Four is probably going to get a nice bump from this. It's sitting at 439 million, which it's not bad. It's going to be entering its fourth week. Yes, it's been in 3 weeks as of Friday, so it'll be entering its fourth week in theaters. I wouldn't be surprised to see this number climb. I don't think that Marvel is going to pull this film, especially with what's going on with Superman. There's no reason to pull this out because right now this is at 439 million. And it's sitting at 21 days, and Superman is sitting at 585 million. It could pull that number by the end. I don't know. I really don't have a preference to either way. But these numbers are a lot closer, which kind of shows the massive failure that Superman has been for WB and DC and James Gunn. There's no coming back from this. And when you listen to James Gunn right now, everything's about Peacemaker. Peacemaker is going to be the introduction to the DC. Forget Superman. It's the same thing that Marvel is doing with Fantastic Four. Don't look at Fantastic Four. Look at Spider Man, and that's a Sony production. So what? Disney's going to get 25% of the profits from that movie. It means nothing to them financially. It's a Sony production. That's it. But with Superman, they're not going to license it out to anyone. So when it's done its theatrical run, it might sell some copies on 4DX. I don't think so. I don't think there's no money in it except for collectors. And I don't see this being a movie that people are going to go and spend money on the UHD. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. I see this hitting the $5 discount bins relatively quickly. Jurassic World is another one that is still chugging along in the theaters, sitting at $809 million right now. And that's fantastic for a dinosaur movie. They need to make them cheaper and just keep plugging them out at this point. People are going to see them. They're going to go watch dinosaurs. And it's going to beat anything that Marvel and DC is putting out. Now, I will say right now, Spider-Man is going to do insane money. Between the Punisher and the Savage Hulk, it's going to do fantastic at the box office. There's no doubt. I think it's going to do better than Doomsday. No matter what, it's going to make money than both Doomsday and Secret Wars because the budgets for those films are insane. But with the budget and marketing, what we're looking at right now, with all that cast of characters and how much they put out for the Russos and how much they put out for RDJ, it's insane. There's zero chance those movies are going to make any kind of real profit for Marvel. And this is a point where they should be winding down. Fantastic Four, maybe they... It's a shame. They're probably way too far along in Doomsday. But who knows? Because they're still... From there are reports, Rebecca Romijn has recently stated that she filmed her scenes. She doesn't know if she's done because the script's not done yet. And we're hearing that more and more. So this movie isn't even done yet. At this point, if it's not too late, this is where they should just stop. Just stop. Rework everything. And build off the Fantastic Four. Build a new universe. The brand is damaged. Doomsday, Secret Wars, they're not going to do Deadpool and Wolverine money. And even if they do, it's still not going to be profitable. It's much like Superman. I know Superman was made for $8 and a pack of matches. That's what everybody wants to claim. But no, it wasn't. It was made for a lot of money. And there is no profitability in Superman. Even if they did film Peacemaker and Supergirl under its budget, or at least some of the movie, this number needed to be double this for that film to break even. With all the verified numbers that are out there, it just doesn't work. So Superman's a massive loss for DC, and how they're building a foundation on this, well, they're not now. According to James Gunn, they're building it off of Peacemaker, which, come on, enough's enough at this point. Give up. Just give up. Reboot. Fire James Gunn and move on. I don't think his contract is past this year anyway. What's he got, 1 year on a contract in addition to this? Or let him just put out whatever he's putting out and then get ready to reboot. They might as well start casting now. And it's a shame because there was a good cast in his Superman movie. But it doesn't matter. As of now, they're damaged goods. Who wants to see them going forward? A small group of people that can't make the first movie success. And Supergirl ain't going to make shit in the theaters. It's going to do the Marvel's money. If it does that, there's no profitability in DC going forward. And what did they run to? They ran right to Matt Reeves. We need the Batman 2 and Penguin sequel now. Even though they've been shafting him for months at least. And who knows what really goes on behind the scenes. But the Batman 2 is not going to be a hugely profitable movie based off the first one. Marvel brand damage has destroyed DC's brand damage because most normies don't understand that Superman and Captain America are from two different companies. They're people in spandex. So if a bunch of movies have sucked for 5 years, the movies that are coming out from either studio are going to suck. And that's the way it is. The few people, like in this sphere, in your sphere out there that are watching this, you know as well as I do. Brand damage is brand damage. Normies don't go to comic book stores. Normies don't watch the animated series. Normies have not watched the old animated series. Normies know Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. That's who they know. They don't. Henry Cavill. I can't tell you how many times have you heard. I went and saw Superman, and there was no Henry Cavill. What did they do? Change the actor? Well, to us that sounds ridiculous, but to normal people out there that aren't sitting on social media, that aren't getting the latest bits from Hollywood, don't know anything that's going on behind the scenes. They want their Superman, they want their Batman, and that's it. They're not going for the universe. They're going to see a movie based on a character that they like. And going in and changing all this every few years is just going to reduce the brand down more and more and more. But we are going into this weekend. Weapons, I think, is going to do really good. Freakier Friday will float around. Fantastic Four, I still think it's going to pull money in the box office. It's far better than Superman, but word of mouth is much more solid. But like I said, at this point, they need to distract away from it, and that's why they're pushing Spider-Man so hard. Naked Gun, which was a great movie. It was funny, but my review's up. I love that film. I really do. I like that kind of humor, and it completely depends on what kind of humor you like. So if it's not the type of humor you're into, you're not going to like the film. It's as simple as that. But look in here, Jurassic World Rebirth. Domestically, Superman has just exceeded it by a few $1 million. Superman beat Jurassic Park 36 by a few $1 million. That is ungodly embarrassing for DC and for James Gunn. No wonder he's pivoting in to something he's comfortable with, like John Cena in his underwear. And say what you will, Peacemaker is a show for certain people. I found it watchable, but I have to go back and watch the first season again. And I might actually review it, since I have to watch it, and make you guys suffer through it, because that's about the amount of interest I have in it at this point. But Weapons is what I'm psyched for. I just watched Alien Earth last night. I watched both episodes. I want to watch them again. I loved that show. I am really digging where they're going with it. There are problems, and there are going... Everything I've heard, review-wise, the problems, they're not problems. They're problems you can inject into it. But in my opinion, as an Alien fan, as a Ridley Scott fan, as a Blade Runner fan, I see where they're going, and this could get very, very interesting if they don't drop the ball. But we're 2 episodes in. I can't make a decision on it now. But all I can say is I am definitely interested to see where this progresses. And I think their approach is genius. Because if you look at Aliens, if you look at the franchise in general, we've seen it from one perspective, the Weyland-Yutani perspective. And this is from a completely different perspective. And if you've watched shows like The Expanse, you get this kind of movie making or cinematography. It works. It can work really well. Showing something from different points of view, it's something that takes place in weapons. But this can really work. Now, I'm pretty much done with Weyland-Yutani in Alien. I think that storyline is done. I don't think they could damage it any more than they have in the past few decades. And this could be more of a fresh start. And I'm actually writing to do a full Alien video tonight. I might even live stream it at this point. There's a lot going on with it. And I started taking notes, and I had to put my pen down after like 6 pages and really just go back, restart it, and enjoy it. Because everything pretty much worked for me. And the logic behind all the decisions they made that could have been problematic, the logic they use and the universe it's in negate those. So, okay, they can take things in this direction and it can work. It doesn't affect the lore. And it's not like in the end of this series, whether it goes 1 season or 5 seasons, that they have to blow up everything that happens. No, because Alien and Aliens took place from the view of Weyland-Yutani. And we saw that. And I think it was genius that they put that in there. Like, okay, I'm watching a Weyland-Yutani show. Oh, not anymore. All right. Let me reset and go from Prodigy perspective. And to think that one corporation rules the entire world, well, no. Or the whole solar system. It's not the way it works. And that has been something that has been hyper focused on Weyland-Yutani, Weyland-Yutani, Weyland-Yutani. It's all Weyland-Yutani. That has everything to do with Alien. No, it doesn't. And now, in fact, some of the choices that I think they're making here are to play off of what happens in that Weyland-Yutani perspective. Because there are certain things that never lined up in the lore. And I think this show is going to patch those holes by introducing us to this new perspective. And if you take it as they're rewriting the lore and this, that, I completely respect where you're coming from because that's where I thought it was going. But no, they are showing it from a different perspective while not damaging anything in the timeline. But this, they could do whatever they want. It's open freedom. It's not changing the world. It's just showing it from another set of eyes. I like that. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. In fact, I'm going to start filming that. I want to watch both episodes. I don't know if I'm going to review it live tonight or if I'm going to... You know what? Let's just do a live tonight. Let's do a live tonight. We'll do a Thursday night live. Let's say 8 p.m. Let's do a Thursday live tonight at 8 p.m. That sounds like fun. And we will talk about Alien Earth. Now, I'm going to tell you now, since this is the first 2 episodes, and I think it is important to know what's going on in these 2 episodes. If you're not going to watch the show, if you've already decided and you're going off of some of the reviews out there and you're not going to give it a chance, I think that's a huge mistake. So spoilers in the first 2 episodes need to be done, especially because there's a half dozen problems that I've heard repeated that I don't see as being problems. They make sense in every way. But that's something we will talk about later. Wow, I never even changed my screen. Sorry about that. You've been staring at box office numbers for the last 20 minutes. Oh, man. This is what happens when you take a few days off. And not just for fun stuff. But anyway, that is Thursday's rundown on the box office, and we will see how everything shakes out this weekend. Monday's box office is going to be very interesting. I'm really curious to seeing what Weapons does. Yeah, I can get a live stream in. I'm going to see Weapons very late tonight, so yeah, we'll do a live stream around 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Let's make it 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'll set up a notification for that. And I will see you guys then. Have a good one.